Hey traders from around the world, this is Jerremy Alexander Newsome with Real Life Trading. I hope you're doing absolutely phenomenally sensational. It is Friday, July the 10th, and the DIA closed today up pretty massively from yesterday. So we had a big black candle yesterday. The stock did gap up. It actually opened not above the high, but it did open above the open of yesterday. So this is a gap and go in the sense of it's just simply trapping some people. Now, that being the case, I'm still very neutral on the DIA. We did have an iron condor expire. It was a weekly condor. We got into that Wednesday after the FOMC meeting. It was a 173, 172, 178.50, 179.50, and it was about 13 cents, which is about 13% ROI for 3 days' work. So that really wasn't too bad at all because there's a lot of volatility on the markets this week specifically. So right now what we're looking at on the DIA, which is the ETF that tracks the Dow Jones, is just some more sideways to neutral action. Truly, I think we'll probably do something like this where we'll close with this neckline. You know, people will think that we're bullish. We'll trade up a little bit. Then we'll probably roll back down, do something like that, and we'll just stay neutral for another, few weeks to months maybe. And that's just kind of my overall consensus, if you will, on the DIA, the SPY, the Qs, and the IWM. Here's your SPY. This lower shadow actually does not exist on the SPY. It's just a little bit of a data error on TradingView. Here it is on the hourly chart. So you can see on the hourly, pretty decent gap up today. Nice black candle. It did gap. It did retest. It did trade higher. We are at a resistance. So a little bit of a rollover action really would not surprise me. But we are at the highs. We are at some resistance. This is a strong gap on the SPY. That right there. So all we're doing is kind of retesting that. So if we trade up into here and keep pounding our head and trade lower, I'm okay with that. But as of right now, we have an iron condor on the SPY. So bottom line, by next Friday, 1 week from today, as long as SPY closes below 214 and above 202, I'll be a happy camper, which I think is a oxymoron. Let's hop over to QQQ. The Qs got the bull put spread and the bear call spread completing the iron condor in the Qs. So a very similar situation. If the Qs close below 111 by this time next week and above 104 by this time next week, I will also be a happy camper. Most people who camp usually aren't that happy because there's no running water. Here's the IWM. Gorgeous candle in the IWM. This is a nice new white soldier gap. I'm talking about and looking into some analysis for a longer-term bull put spread. Stan, Lita, and a few others are in a August 115, 114 bull put spread for 13 cents. So I actually have a wager on this particular bull put spread because this spread is way down here for August. My wager is if this spread does not expire worthless, I'm going to do a student meetup in North Carolina, which obviously, yes, I do plan on doing that anyway, but just in case, I wasn't planning on doing it in August. So if it does not expire worthless, I'll be doing a meetup. If you're in North Carolina, keep that in mind. Watch the IWM closely. 99% chance that it does expire worthless, but there is always that 1% chance. After all, this is the stock market. Apple. Looked at Apple today. So Apple had a decent gap. And yesterday we did trade right into a support zone. So this is a great buying zone. I actually had this, to move this down. It was kind of all up in this area. So you can see this 119.14. Go back to any video you wish. That line has been there for a very long time on Apple. I've been talking about Apple trading down there since right about here. Trade down lower. The low of yesterday was 119.22. So we're getting some bouncing action down there. And today, boop, gapped up nicely. Nice little new white soldier today. So here's my exact trading plan this morning on Apple because at 9 a.m. Eastern, I host the morning trading floor on Mondays and Fridays. Apple, nice gap. This is a gap and go, opening above a high wave candle in the hourly, expecting some small selling pressure and see if it can bounce. Likely will be an inside day candle today. Here is the hourly chart that we were looking at. Here's the high wave candle that I was referring to. And it's hard to see the selling pressure, but it definitely happened. Here's the high wave candle, as you guys can see right there. Stock gapped up, opened. There is the selling pressure. So if I hop over to the 15-minute chart, you'll be able to see it. Here's the 15-minute chart on Apple. So there's the selling pressure. Selling came in, got some buying reversal signals right there, boop, and then we played it again in the afternoon, boop, right there. So some good trades today on Apple on the afternoon floor, some good analysis to be had. Karen's in some shares. Brian Bodie, he is still in his covered call and his put sale. So guys, Apple trade down to the support. Now, again, earnings right around the corner. Let's keep an eye on it. Let's see what it does. Interesting to see how and if it does in fact play out. But my thought is Apple trades up to this level, and on earnings, I have no idea what's going to do. If it gaps up, I hope it clears 135. If it opens about 132 and some change, I'll be pretty patient on it, just relaxing, sitting back, seeing what it does, seeing how it interacts with that level, and just taking it from there overall, depending on how it opens. Now, if it gaps down strongly, if it opens below 118, I would definitely keep a close eye on that guy, because this would be pretty bearish. That would be below the 200 simple moving average. Here's the 200 simple moving average on Apple, and it's about 118 and some change. As soon as it loads, TradingView is going a little bit slow today. Anyway, it's right about here. 200 simple's right about there. And if we gap down below there, there's going to be a lot of selling pressure on Apple. At least that's what I think. So keeping a close eye on that to see what's going on. As an update on silver. So silver, still kind of waiting for that rollover to happen. Here's my current trading plan on silver, ticker symbol SLV. So we did gap down. We are retesting that gap right now. This is a very, very strong gap. I do anticipate a rollover. Obviously, it doesn't have to, but here's your hourly chart. So the hourly chart, you're running into the 100 simple on the hourly. My thought is I'm expecting, or not expecting, but if Apple rolls over and closes below 1453, I'll be triggered in bearish with a stop at 1498. So silver has not continued bearish, but SLW has, and that's the one that I did get triggered into. I am in SLW bearish with August puts, not anticipating being in there too terribly long. So just keeping a close eye on this one. We'll see what's going on. So we have made some lower lows. I'm up about 30% on some August puts. I got triggered in at 1570. So volume is increasing. Some light lower shadows. I expect some small candles to come in like this next week, something like this, and then probably a rollover, something like that on silver wheaten. So just kind of as a little bit of an update on that one. USO, which is the United States Oil Fund, has made some lower lows. Right now, it looks like we're pinneting, a little bit of a pennant pattern of some kind, and just keeping an eye on the oil to actually continue the overall direction that it's currently in. Tesla will be the last trade I look at for your stock review today. Tesla, here's my analysis on Tesla at the moment. On the 7th of July, I mentioned this gap is bearish. People in the daily expected Tesla to go higher after the pennant. It did not. So strong gap. Here's a little bit of a retest with some volume declining, and I still anticipate Tesla slightly making some lower moves. Your exponential moving averages are right about here, and I think that we're coming into the 50 exponential potentially. It'd be interesting to see how it works. But if you're considering a bear call spread, the 270, 270, 250 expiring next week. So that's a week from today. Is paying about 40 cents. So keep an eye on that tomorrow. The good news is a lot of traders are already in a 235, 230 bull put spread. So there's no additional margin for that bear call. If you got into both, it would create the iron condor, and all is well on Tesla. So at this particular moment in time, friends and family, if you have any questions, let me know. I appreciate you guys watching this real life stock review. Hope you have a great weekend. July is indeed sports month at Real Life Trading. So tomorrow I'm going on a 5K race. It's an inflatable race at Nashville with some friends and family. I'm doing that tomorrow. Sunday, don't really have any plans. Probably hanging out with my buddy Adam in Murfreesboro. And so we'll see. Maybe play a sport or 2 or 3 or 12. Who knows? But I'm excited for this weekend. It's going to be a hot one. Stay cool, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you guys later. And until next time, remember, love life, live life, and trade it. See ya.